MLB is on its path to its World Series. We continue ours here for the fall duration of the season anyway at LakePoint Sports. I'm Cory McCartney here to bring you our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. We just wrapped up the Upperclass Fall World Series this past week. We have 54 teams coming as far as Colorado, Indiana, Texas, and Virginia. This event plays itself out over the next 3 days. We've got an estimated 10:20 first pitch as we bring you our game of the day between 7:06 baseball from Georgia and Stars Baseball Marucci National from Virginia. I'll be joined along the way by Prep Baseball's Hudson Graham and Avery Hunt and our own Grayson Rosen. And we want to continue to have thoughts and prayers with everyone who's been impacted by Hurricane Helene, especially here throughout the Southeast. While this Underclass Fall World Series is a chance for players to make their marks with their performances on the field, we're also giving them a chance to show out with their greatness on and off it as well. We have teamed up with Johnsonville in their pursuit to bring the positive back to the internet. Let's go inside that mission. Any and everyone is invited to share these moments of positive actions, good sportsmanship, and selfless acts associated with those youth sports that we love. So whether you're the one who spotted the activity, the one performing the act, or the recipient of the good deed, there is something in it for everyone. And Johnsonville might just reward you for your behavior and or participation. So use the QR code on screen for more information on how you can make a submission, or head on over to LakePointSports.com or our social channels to access the submission form. Now, the baseball village is really a ball player's dream. You can basically pick up anything you want to up and down our shops, and our own Simone Stanley caught up with Shot Collar to take you inside what they have to offer.
What's up, everyone? Simone Stanley here, back at Baseball Village. Today we are hanging out with Mike Cather. He is the founder of Shot Collar, bringing a new twist on bat weights. Mike, thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming.
We're here. It's fall baseball time. What are you excited about?
It's the end of end of the year baseball. We got about 12 weeks left. It's just a nice little kick going into the holiday season, and it's just good to see the kids come out and play in cooler weather.
And I've seen you out here for a while now, but you're still fairly new. How long have you been running this kiosk at Baseball Village?
So we've been about 14 months so far. So we came in June of last year. We just celebrated our first year of selling online in June 2024. So we're relatively new, but we're expanding quickly.
Yes, and we see a lot of traffic come over here to Shot Collar. What makes your bat weights special?
Well, it comes off really easy. Doesn't mark up your bat. There's been a big problem with two-piece bats breaking, knobs coming off. My son broke his bat, so I decided to invent something that's just got a little more common sense to it. And it's been received really well by the public, so we're really happy with the way it's going.
And you have a setup here. I see you doing demonstrations all the time. Can you give us one?
Yeah, definitely. So basically you just slide it on. It's on because of it's a TPE, so it's a little bit grippier. And then in order to get it off, you just twist. You have the ability to change whatever color you want, and then underneath these color strips you can add up to another ½ pound of weight. So it's totally customizable. The weights slide in there. The inserts slide over the top. And now it's about 1½ ounces heavier. So you can customize up to 6 slots, up to a ½ pound.
And that's the twist, right? The new twist.
The twist is you're twisting it off. You can still tap it off, but it won't get stuck. And you don't have to just sit there and mash your mom's $400 birthday present to you. So, yeah.
What do you like about hanging out at Baseball Village?
I like the fact, because the first question I always ask everybody is where you're from. And Being a former player, I played in a lot of minor league cities. There's a lot of overlap. I get a chance to talk to the people and really connect. Even if it's not for a sale, it's still really kind of cool to see people. And LakePoint pulls so many different states. We were able to get to, I think, about 38 states last year in about a 6-month span.
Wow.
So it was really valuable for us to really get our name out there and really start touching other parts of the country, not just here in the Southeast.
I like it. Well, guys, I am Simone Stanley. If you are at Baseball Village, make sure you check out Mike here at Shot Caller. Thank you guys so much.
Now joined by Hudson Graham from Prep Baseball Georgia. We're going to go ahead and cut away to our field action here. Again, we've got a matchup between 706 Baseball and Stars Baseball Marucci National, our game of the day in the underclass Fall World Series. Hudson, I know you've this is a big weekend for you guys as you evaluate the class of 2028 who do not have their rankings set yet. Kind of take us inside that a little bit and how crucial this weekend and these events like this are for you guys.
Yeah, we've been talking the last week or so. I always get excited for these events with the young guys, like the 706 team, for example, full of North Oconee, Prince Avenue Christian 2028. So a fresh new group for us to take a look at, get an early jump on these incoming freshmen, see who may have a chance to make an impact at the varsity level, and then see who we need to kind of keep an eye on over the next couple years and try to get them to some events of ours so we can evaluate them and keep up with them in the high school season. So like you mentioned, young guys, I love seeing these young guys building our list for these 2028 rankings coming out in December.
How difficult then is it as you guys kind of factor everything in from a national perspective and you guys try to set those first national rankings?
Yeah.
Take us inside that a little bit.
Yeah, so with Georgia, I think we're in a good spot because, we have the 2 junior future games teams that we're able to get, 15 to 30 of kind of the top guys in the state. If I'm going out on a limb, I think we're going to have the #1 player in the country this year in Dexter McLeon Jr. So that'll be cool. But no, I really think these 2028s, it's one of those things where it's an ongoing evaluation. It's a fluid process to where we're going to start with 75 to 100 players that we've been able to see over the years, whether it be in youth tournaments or in that 14U age group in the high school tournaments, and then at junior future games as well. We had 30 really good players on Team Georgia. So that's kind of our thought process. More and more names pop up year after year. So we'll start with that base of like 75 to 100 kids that we know the name, we've seen them, and then build from there.
So Dexter McLeon Jr. is such an interesting study because he's been here at LakePoint Sports so much. He's played up so much and really challenged himself against older players. How do you kind of view the progression of a player like that when he's out there testing himself against guys that are 2-3 years older? Yeah,
so a kid like that, he was out here at 12U, and he obviously was the biggest kid on the field, stood out amongst his peers. But with kids like that, we still look for the progression. He was throwing mid-80s when he was 12, 13 years old, and sometimes kids like that just kind of steady out and kind of hold that because they don't feel like they need to get that much better because they already are the best. But Dexter's a rare case to where he's really been on the upward trajectory. He's up to 93, 94, hitting balls all over the park. So that's kind of what we look for there because a lot of these kids grow early as 14-year-olds, and then we want to make sure they keep that progression going.
So we have Maxwell Monahan is going to be on the mound for Stars Baseball as we get things underway with our game of the day here from the Underclass Fall World Series. Going to be facing off against 706 Baseball from here in Georgia. As that one goes back foul, he's facing off against Brady Heath, who will be followed by Lane Rhodes and Gunnar Broswell.
Yeah, looking through rosters, like I mentioned, I didn't really know any names on this 706 team, but familiar with all the high schools on the team. So I know I got Ian over there. He was looking forward to seeing these guys as well. Stars Baseball is always a program that comes here quite a bit that's always really well known and always bring talented teams.
Well, you talked about Prince Avenue Christian, North Oconee. I mean, those are 2 teams that have been established powers over the past couple of years in Georgia high school baseball. So you sort of look at these guys as the as he goes down on strikes, is sort of the next step for those programs. And this is, again, a big opportunity for you guys to get a glimpse at the future.
Yeah, and two really good programs there, but at the same time, two different programs. Where North Oconee obviously have a large pool of players to where these 2028s might not get a shot their freshman year, but at a school like Prince Avenue, being a smaller school, you may get a freshman in there that can make an impact early. But obviously they got back-to-back state championships and probably looking to three-peat with the talent they got returning.
Lane Rhodes at the plate now for 706 baseball out of John Millage High School in Georgia, 5'6", 140-pounder, playing in his first prep baseball event. Mentioned Monahan on the mound, the lefty, 5'11", 160 from Potomac Falls, Virginia. We've got him listed at around 79 with the fastball. Looks like he's sticking around that range here early in the first.
Yeah, the fall's always a tricky time. Some of these kids might have played football last night, hopping over here for baseball today. So, we take that in consideration when we're evaluating. We look for the athletes. We know kids got a lot going on in the fall, so just trying to stay in shape before the early spring baseball season in Georgia.
Yeah, so how difficult is it to gauge pitching then? Because some of these guys, when you think about it, they've been pitching since basically February as they got up for the spring the season, the summer, and now they're late into the fall.
Yeah, it's tough. A good example was Ryan Trout, 27 Divine. He's out here this weekend. We've seen him since top prospect games, up to 86, mid-80s arm. And, he's kind of in maintain mode, I think. He's still throwing strikes in the low 80s. But kids just got to be smart with their arms, with the way these seasons are in Georgia. You're almost playing year-round. A lot of these guys will finish up this weekend or next weekend in the fall, and then some will shut down and then be ready to go back in January.
Yeah, Trout, another one of those North Oconee players, as we see Lane Rhodes draw a walk. Brings up Gunnar Broswell from Morgan County High School, another playing in his first prep baseball event.
And I feel for these 2028s and 2027s because some of them might not be established at their high school yet, so they're going into tryouts wanting to show their best, wanting to be at their best, but it can be really hard as much as these kids are playing, and then, you could get your 32 degrees in January.
Nice play at short there, doubles him up at second. Nice job at short.
Yeah, that was a good drop step play there by the shortstop.
So now 2 down. That already going to be it from Monahan, or just going out to have a word with him. Maybe they picked up on something they didn't like in the delivery. These, again, Virginia players coming all the way from Haymarket. Sure, that was an interesting drive for them. Obviously, so much of the Southeast impacted by Hurricane Helene. We, again, as I mentioned during the intro, offer our thoughts and prayers to everyone involved and impacted by that storm's path. And obviously, we lucked out here in the western part of Metro Atlanta, but I know there's even parts of Metro Atlanta that were hit pretty hard. So that's going to bring up Bankston Terrell. Intel on Terrell, Prince Avenue Christian, playing in his 4th prep baseball event. We'll get a little bit later into this, but a couple players on this that are into the 20s in the number of prep baseball events.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and I hate it because, whenever I was used to run the youth tournaments, I was always out here seeing them when they were 13U, 14U, trying to follow them, trying to, pick our junior future games team. But now I got to get out to the high school games on the weekends, so I don't get to see these kids as much. I only really get to see him during the summer at the high school tournaments as he slaps that one the other way.
Yeah, first pitch curveball and on his way to third base. They got him hung up, going to get the inning ending out. Definitely going to be watching, though, as Stars Baseball's Moynihan leading off with that curveball in 706 baseball. Certainly looking for it. We're through half an inning on our underclass Fall World Series game of the day. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy. Boogie, woogie, jam, slam, bust the dialect,
Back here at LakePoint Sports, our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Cory McCartney along with Prep Baseball Georgia's Hudson Graham. I've already seen 7:06 at the plate. As you see, they were led off with Brady Heath, followed by Lane Rhodes, Gunnar Broswell, Banks, and Terrell. We'll see Cole Johnson, Carter Foskey, Burke Seagraves as things continue. And C.J. Pierce, Evan Beaver, and Anthony Pisano on the mound right now. Right-hander Shane Walls. Meanwhile, Stars Baseball Marucci. Leading off with Josh Gunning, followed by Bobby Arnold, Tyler Caperton, Jack Arft, James Bacher, Ryan Mendreza, Cole Schumacher, Joshua Elmore, Kian Caboli, and Luke Torres. And we've already seen Maxwell Moynihan on the mound. This is Josh Gunning now at the plate for Stars Baseball Marucci National. Gunning from Battlefield High School in Virginia, 5'9", 160-pounder. And with exit velos in the low 80s, 5'9", 160. Walls misses outside. Gives him a strike in the outside corner. Apparently did not get my invitation to the United Umpires training this last week, so my strike zone may be a little wonky as we start things off here.
Yeah, they've been getting after it the last couple weeks. The first weekend of the Cup, they have the high school association out here, which is mostly the same umpires. Just kind of ran by a different organization. They were out here getting trained up. I guess they got to kind of go to certain trainings to be qualified for like playoffs and state championship umpires. And then had United out here last week. They borrowed our pitching machine, and they got PVC pipe strike zones where they're
pretty awesome.
Yeah, where they're showing where the pitches are. So as hard as time as these guys get, they are working hard. They are trying to develop, get better, just like these players are. So kudos to United and Todd Mahler and all those guys.
Yeah, Avery and I talked about it last week. A year ago, I was actually with them during the training, especially the laser strike zone stuff is incredible. This is way high there. Just to watch the way it's set up is they set up this PVC pipe box, and they'll read where the strike is. They'll point it out, and then they'll go over off the laser and show them exactly where it was. I mean, it's really, really incredible stuff. Obviously, with the weather that we had last week, there was a little bit of some changes in their schedule, and was unable to go be a part of things this time as that one goes back foul. But it's really incredible, and then it really gives you a sense of how good these guys are. I know we have a tendency to be overly critical, especially of umpires at the youth level, but as you mentioned, these guys are busting it, and a number of them have aspirations to be doing this at the collegiate level, if not higher.
Yeah, definitely. What high school we got Shane Walls at here? Did you say?
Walls is out of Clark Central High School, 6'5", 164-pounder.
Clark Central. I believe that's Stone Cipher, Michael Hunter Stone Cipher. I think that's where he goes. But yeah,
on his way to Kennesaw State.
Yeah, I see Ian back there. See, this is always cool. We see a big 6 foot, 6'4" righty on the mound, low 80s. So being a young kid like this, obviously put a star next to the name. Make sure we try to get out, see him in the high school season. I'm sure this guy will have a chance to pitch at the varsity level at Clark Central.
Highly developed frame already when you think about this age at 2028 being 6'5", 164. I mean, you could probably add 15 to 20 pounds of the frame as you think about the evolution of him, but it's already a pretty solid frame at that size.
Yeah, and always in the back of our brain is when we see these kids at 14U, it's like, what are they going to be in 2 years? If we were broadcasting Reed Worley at this time when he was 14, he was 78, 80 miles an hour. And we just got back from Miami seeing him running up to 90, 91, 92 with one of the best sliders in the country. So always got to have that development in the back of our mind, kind of where they could go with that projection.
Miss there and make it 2-0. Talk a little bit. We have not had a chance to catch up after Miami. Again, obviously, Georgia had Reed Worley, Matthew Sharman, both down there. Reed's outing was really interesting. Anyone that's interested can go back and watch the replay on the Prep Baseball YouTube channel. Started off a little bit rocky, found his way. He said he's always like that. It's always like the first inning. And coming in a spot, like that, knowing he's only going to get one inning. He said it took him a little while to kind of find his groove. Yeah,
it was a little warm in the Marlins facility, so he had a little bit of a hard time getting a hold of the ball. But they were had the MLB rub that they put on him. We were doing those in the locker room the night before, so that helped him out a little bit. But yeah, I was super excited for Worley. He shined on one of the biggest stages, had a couple strikeouts. Had obviously one of the best breaking balls at the event, and has caught a lot of steam moving into the off season, and we should get to see him back at Super 60 in Chicago in February.
Yeah,
so
that'd be fantastic.
Really
Another great
excited for
event.
that.
Yeah, it's Super 60. Another great event is that's skied up. Catcher's going to be underneath it. It's got it. Oh, just reach out, but he does haul it in for the second out. Yeah, Super 60 is such a cool event as well. So hopefully I'll be back there in Chicago and get to enjoy that.
Yeah, and now with these 25s, we've mentioned it before on the broadcast, but was really the first class that I kind of got to see through and through. Saw them in the Junior Future Games year, which is 14U, and then followed them all the way through now going into their senior year. So we should have some Georgia guys roll through these big-time events like All-American Game and Super 60 the next couple of years. I think we'll have quite a few at Super 60 this year. So always exciting time, something to look forward to for these younger guys as they move into their high school career.
Tyler Caperton now at the plate, Eastern View High School. He was here 2023 for the Junior Future Games. Have a couple Junior Future Gamers on this Stars Baseball Marucci National team.
Yeah, I know our Virginia guys always do a lot with this Stars group, so always have good players down here, like we mentioned.
Walls at the 0-2, swings that one foul.
And also a big thing for us, too, is, with these 2028s, we want to kind of teach them kind of what our, philosophy and goals are and kind of our, schedule of events that we run. We have these fall IDs right now that we run and really get into the preseason, and everything circles around preseason all state. So trying to evaluate for that as he gets strike through there to end the inning.
Well, as you said, a big weekend for you guys as you evaluate these 2028s. Hudson, man, appreciate you taking the time and joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one,
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere? And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf. Because we're busy women. We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Cory McCartney was joined by Hudson Graham. Will be shortly joined by Avery Hunt as he makes his way across campus here. Still scoreless as we're on to the second inning between 706 Baseball and Stars Baseball Marucci National. Throw down to second. Gets things started here in the second inning. We're going to have Cole Johnson, who will be followed by Carter Foskey and Burke Seagraves for 706 Baseball. Just 11 pitches in the first inning for Monahan. A little intel on Cole Johnson, Prince Avenue Christian. Here comes Avery Hunt with a slide in, get his.
Oh, goodness.
There you go.
Coming in hot.
Yeah, that's right. Like the slide in, it's always a positive. Monahan with the miss, makes it 2-0. Sorry to make you have to sprint across like that.
No, you're good. I got caught up talking to somebody and then realized that, oh, no, the top of the second inning has started. So I had to run down here real quick. It's good for me.
It's a 2-0 for Monahan. That one's down the middle for a strike. Cole Johnson will be followed by Carter Foskey and Burke Seagraves. 7:06 baseball was to get something started here. We one hit for 7:06, no hit so far for Stars here in the second. Monahan settles. Here's come the 3-1. Gonna miss. Oh, going to give him the strike inside.
Weather turned out pretty nice today. We had a little bit of fog this morning going on. But
Yeah, I was talking to one of the United umpires guys, and he said when the game started, he had to squint to be able to see in from out in the field. He's like, I can't imagine what it's like for the batters, and when basically the batter's eye is this like endless just blur behind them. That's the second and easy to first for the out.
Yeah, we went down, made sure everybody could see. We had to stop 2 fields. It like went away, then settled back in for 10 minutes, and made the drive here this morning. Didn't see fog for about 35 miles, and then got to exit 283.
Yeah, right when we got around there, there was nothing, and then right when you get it right outside the exit here to Emerson and LakePoint Sports, it was just fog, just settled in, and I was like, what in the world? It's like you were entering in some kind of a horror movie or something.
Yeah, it's like they probably drove another mile up the interstate. There was no fog, but it just sat down on us. It's usually how things work anyway.
Ropes that one into right field. That's going to be down for a base hit. One thing have really noticed about Monahan here, Maxwell Monahan from Potomac Falls, Virginia, is all too eager to go first pitch curveball against most of these guys. So, and we've seen 706 jumping on that pitch. So let's see if that continues. Obviously, a storyline to follow as his start continues. See if he mixes it up here, goes back to the secondary, and goes fastball there. And that's in for a strike. He's now got Foskey, Carter Foskey from Prince Avenue Christian, playing in his 4th prep baseball event. 5'7", 130-pounder, shortstop and second baseman. Rips that one into right field. Going to be down for another base hit. 7:06 baseball. Getting the line going as we've got 2 on with 1 out.
Really good job there by the 706 hitters. You know, with a left-hander on the mound as a right-handed hitter, you know, everybody preaches stay right center. Look to hit the ball the other ways. Most lefties have a little bit of arm side run with it, and back-to-back guys there be able to shoot a single to right field.
Burke Seagraves from North Oconee, 2028 now up. Burke playing in his 24th prep baseball event, so I think we have to go get him a number to clock in or something, because that's just an insane amount of time that Burke has spent here on these fields.
Seems like a crazy number for a pretty young guy.
It sure is, like 2028, 24. And believe there's somebody on this team who has played in more events here on, I'm sorry, one other player has played in 23, so Burke does top any event that I can remember in recent time in terms of amount of innings and games logged here at LakePoint.
Absolutely. It's not a super convenient drive either from the North Oconee area.
No.
Being a guy that makes that drive a few times a week, that's some miles on the car there a little bit.
For somebody who can't drive. So mom and dad having to lug him all over the place. Misses with the curveball. Before warned, there are 2 number 33s on this Stars baseball team. Currently got Luke Torres playing second base, as that's going to be gathered by short. Throw over to second for 1. They get it to first for the double play to get out of the inning. Nice job defensively by Stars Baseball Marucci National. We're still scoreless. We'll be back from our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Still waiting for our breakthrough moment here in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series between 706 Baseball and Stars Baseball Marucci National. Shane Walls back out on the mound for 706 Baseball. He's going to be facing off against Jack Arft, James Bacher, and Ryan Madriza for Stars Baseball National. Arft, who will lead things off, 6'1", 177-pounder from Highland School, Virginia. Primarily a catcher. A lot to like is Hudson Graham mentioned about Walls. Nice smooth delivery from the right-hand side at 6'5". Stars Baseball still looking for that first hit here in the second. Talking about the whirlwind for Georgia football fans over the last week here with the Georgia-Alabama game, and then a dramatic win over the Saints, and then a Thursday night win in overtime over the Bucks. I know you got the whoop on, so what was the strain level like after those 3 days of football?
I've learned not to look at them for Georgia football games. Not a great. I do know. Know your Ohio State ties, but the Peach Bowl was, I think my strain that day was a 19.4. That's on a scale of 20. Like 20, you were like running a marathon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an eventful week as a Georgia sports fan. I was at.
Oh, and the Braves as well.
Yeah, I was at game 1 of the doubleheader where the Braves were up 3-0, blew it, came back, blew it again, and then almost tied it in the 9th against the Mets on Monday. So took my dad for his birthday to that game. So shout out, late happy birthday on the interwebs for him. And then Thursday night was at the Falcons game when we go to overtime. And I think, if I'm going to be a little selfish here, if Georgia could, just for my mental sanity, go and win by like 22, 24 points today and just make it easy, that would be great for my heart rate. My in-laws watched the Georgia game last week at their house, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, not really, but, we'll figure it out.
That's right. Well, you guys still got 2 back-to-back national championships to rest your laurels on. As Jack Arft got hit by a pitch, then steals second. Bacher puts this one into right field. It's going to be down for a base hit. Arft is going to hold at third. Bacher's going to take off for second as that throw-in sails to the backstop. So Bacher standing at second base, and that will bring up Ryan Madriza. Madriza from St. Paul the 6th Catholic in Virginia, 5'10", 157-pounder. Got a chance to cash in here with a couple on, swing and a miss as Walls delivers that at 77.6. I thought that the doubleheader, they cleared the stadium and made every. Okay,
it was a one ticket get you in.
Gotcha, because I figured with the 1 and 4 starts, typically, obviously with a split doubleheader, they clear out the stadium. But I just assumed with those game times, they just have everybody run through both games.
Yeah, and you kind of knew as sitting there, like if we don't win game 1, this is probably it, and that happened when you fly to San Diego and have to play in.
Walls misses inside, make it 2-1. Yeah, tough ending for the Braves. Obviously could be the final time that we see Max Fried in a Braves uniform, so we'll see how free agency plays out for him. We certainly can look back to Dansby Swanson and Freddie Freeman and know that once you allow a guy to hit the open market, he gets to have 29 more conversations that he did not get to have previously, and that can change everything. So we'll see what happens with Fried, but certainly a guy who broke in with the Braves, was part of their World Series championship in that game, in that clinching win. So leaves a legacy behind, but we'll see if that continues in Atlanta or elsewhere. Comes a 2-2. Ropes that one, 80.4 off the bat. That's going to be into left field. Runners taken off. The throw off the relay is going to be in time. It gets away from the catcher as he bounds down to the ground. Runner will take off the third. So a sacrifice fly scores 1 off that defensive inability to get the runner at home, but nice play there on the base pass from Stars Baseball, and they lead 1-0 here in the second.
Absolutely. Really aggressive base running there on a ball that was really a line drive right to the left fielder. Didn't really have to move. Executed the relay very well. Just catcher tried to put the tag down a little bit before he had the ball, and it got away from him. So Stars Baseball will score the first run of the ball game here. Infield will be in here with 1 out and runner on third as well.
We got Cole Schumacher now at the plate for Stars Baseball. Cole from West Springfield High School in Virginia, 5'7", 140-pounder. Going to add on this 1-0 lead here as we set with no outs in the second. Or excuse me, 1 out off the fly out. Our scoreboard is not caught up with reality quite yet. Comes a 2-0. Sends that one down the left side foul. Johnson will be followed by Carter Foskey.
I think it's...
Oh, excuse me, getting ahead of myself. Schumacher will be followed by Joshua Elmore.
Strike 3 called there.
So Walls gets the out, so now 2 down, and here comes Joshua Elmore. Elmore from James Madison High School, 6 foot, 191-pounder. Exit velo's near 90 as he gets out of the way of that one. There we go. Everything's caught up on the scoreboard now. 1-0 score, 2 down in the inning. Walls gathers, throws. Gets that glove side for the strike at nearly 80.
Really close here to working out of a big jam to start off the inning. Second and third, nobody out. Just a couple pitches away from getting out of this with only the 1 run scoring.
Trying to go back to that same location but misses to make it 2-1. If Elmore gets on, we'll see Keen Kaboli. Dribbler to short, gathers, throws in time for the out, but Stars Baseball has a 1-0 lead. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
At Academy Sports and Outdoors, you'll always find more fun with great brands at the best prices. More of this, 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 and this. So you can get together for a little of that, that, and a lot more of that. And even some of that, and that's good. Have more fun with great brands at the best prices. Only at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
.706 baseball trails 1-0 here in the third inning. We'll try to get back in this one against Stars Baseball, Marucci National, Cory McCartney, Prep Baseball, Georgia's Avery Hunt with you. Going to see Evan Beaver at the plate for 706 baseball. He's going to be followed by Anthony Pisano, and then we're back to the top of the order in Brady Heath. Still got Maxwell Monahan at the plate, on the mound, excuse me, for Stars Baseball. 3 hits so far for 706 baseball, although they've been unable to cash in. Stars Baseball up 1-1. Had an opportunity for 706 baseball to keep them off the scoreboard. The relay into home was in time, but catcher unable to hold on to the ball as Stars Baseball is able to get a run across in the bottom of the second. So we'll see how 706 responds at the plate as we continue our action here. Get our last couple warm-up pitches from Monahan. I think he's ready to go. mentioned the weather this weekend. Definitely waiting for fall to get here. I know the calendar tells us it's supposed to be, as we're now on October 5th. But, man, this feels like August out there.
Yeah, it feels good early in the morning. So that's it's in the 60s early, and then usually gets up in the mid-80s. So still a little warm this afternoon.
And in steps Evan Beaver from Prince Avenue Christian, 5'5", 120-pounder, playing in his 4th prep baseball event. Monahan starts him off with a strike, center cut. Goes fastball, curveball, and gets that in for a strike 2.
Shown really good feel for that breaking ball
Yeah,
here
sure
early,
is.
able to land it for strikes.
A lot of confidence. Again, he's led off many an AB with that pitch, so all too eager to throw it as he misses inside there. It's either a fastball he missed on or a slider that he just went a little bit too far in with. Nonetheless, it's 1-2 to Beaver. Monahan rocks, throws, misses on the curveball there to make it 2-2. Interesting little quirk to the delivery from Monahan as he kind of flicks his left hip back before he throws. Oh, just misses to run the count full.
Sorry, I was getting a message that we need a new base on field 16. So sorry, field 16. You'll
You
have
just
to
keep
wait.
those in your car? Or?
Yeah, just keep one in my back pocket.
Yeah, that's right. Just have a bag with, as you roll around, you get your cart. Swings through that one. Monahan pumps his fist into his glove as he gets the opening strikeout.
I do always have a base tool in my car, so
Yeah, well, that's a good thing
Just
to
in
keep.
case you're rolling around town and need to, replace a base.
You never know.
All that fun stuff. So
down goes Evan Beaver on strike, and here is Anthony Pisano. Pisano coming from North Oconee High School. 4th prep baseball event for the 5'5", 125-pounder. Outfielder and first baseman. Largely 2028s on this 706 team, although Lane Rhodes, who we'll see in a minute here as the lineup flips over, is a 2029. Monahan settles, throws, gets the curveball in for a strike. Doing a nice job mixing up his pitches now because, as I've mentioned a couple times, it felt like 706 baseball was sitting back on that curveball earlier in the game, but he's now mixing it up, keeping him off guard as that one's going foul. Ian Smith settling in the background there with the white hat on, clipboard. Monahan with the 1-2 to Pisano. Another strikeout. Monahan finding his groove as there's now 2 down here in the 3rd. We will flip it over to the top of the order for 706 baseball and Brady Heath. Heath, the North Oconee 2028, digs in. Left-handed hitter throws right. Monahan with the 1-0. Skies that one. Shortstop on the run. Second baseman has it, though, and that's going to get us through the inning. Stars baseball continues to lead 1-0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
So yeah, outrage is trending. Our feed's stirring us up, splitting us up. What if we came out from behind our walls and keyboards just for a sec and just go yard, front yard? Come out bagging, jumping, check on that Johnsonville feed. Let our individual flavors blend together. Yes, block nobody, block party. Keep it juicy.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
1-0 is the lead for Stars Baseball National over 706 Baseball in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Cory McCartney, Pro Baseball Georgia's Hudson Graham with you. Kean Caboli, Luke Torres, and then the top of the order with Josh Gunning for Stars Baseball Nationals. They look to build off their 1-0 lead. Shane Walls continues on the mound for 706 Baseball. Caboli, who will lead things off from Hayfield Secondary School, Virginia. 6'1", 165-pounder. Catcher with pop times down to 2.10. He was a 2023 junior feature gamer, one of a couple junior feature gamers on this Stars Baseball National Marucci team. Stars Baseball just one hit, but they do have the one run in the lead here in the third. .35 pitches for Shane Walls, who misses glove side.
Pretty impressive start for both arms for both teams. A little bit different pitch styles, obviously, with a big righty and then the lefty being able to mix in 2 pitches for strikes. So it's been very impressive for both guys on the mound so far.
That was on the ground. A second throws for first for the first out. Easy play at second there for Evan Beaver. So Caboli grounds out. Now here is Torres. Luke Torres, Marshall High School out of Virginia. All these players out of the state of Virginia. You ever wonder why Virginia is for lovers, but what is every other state? That one's back up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, the second of the game for Stars Baseball.
I've never thought about that, to be honest with you. I have to call Jason Burton, works for PBR Virginia.
There you go. Get to the bottom of this.
Just call him and say, hey, man, what do we got on this?
That's right.
Me and Cory were on the broadcast. We need an answer.
Yep.
It's a call in.
We have those capabilities. We can even dial him up on Zoom and get him inputted into our system in the studio and bring him on as another analyst. Give us the insights on all things Virginia.
And why it is for lovers.
That's right. One down for Luke Torres. That one misses glove side, runs it to 2-0. Torres, Marshall High School. 5'9", 130-pounder. Another miss high. Runners taking off for second. That throw, though, is unfortunately sailing into the outfield as Torres easily standing at second now.
Good job of backing up there by 706, kind of keeping that runner at second. And he probably swipes the bag whether the throw's on the money or not. So really good job of just keeping that to one base.
3-0 to Josh Gunning as he watches that for a 4-pitch walk to Gunning. So now we'll have runners at first and second. Now here goes Bobby Arnold. Arnold from Battlefield High School. Go out and have a word here with Walls as I'm not sure if it's just fatigue or just missing his spots over what we saw out of him in the first 2 innings, but now back-to-back base runners here with one out.
He's induced 2 ground balls this inning. One was an out and one got up the middle for a single. I think they would love to get one more of those, maybe roll a 2-ball here and get out of the inning.
I've not seen a lot of really solid contact on Walls, so I think from that end you can't feel like he's being battered or bruised. He's just been the recipient of some good and bad luck with those ground balls in this inning. Of course, you see a guy walk a player on 4 pitches, as he did to Brady Heath, and maybe you have your, to Josh Gunning, maybe you have your concerns, but see how he responds in this matchup against Bobby Arnold with 2 down and 1 out. Glances back at Torres, delivers. That one misses arm side. So 5 straight balls now for Shane Walls. Both runners taken off. They will both advance 90 feet. We're near a second run for Stars baseball. 6 straight balls.
Oh, we got that. That was a called strike. I think our scoreboard person might have been focusing on the runners there. It's 1-1.
All right. Like that a little bit better for Shane Walls as we get off this run of misses, and does miss inside there. Now it's 2-1. He's got runners at second and third with 1 out and a 1-0 lead here in the third. Walls now makes it 3-1. Arnold will be followed by Tyler Caperton. And the 46th pitch for Walls upcoming. That's down the middle for the second strike, so the count now full.
Just 1 pitch away here to finishing off this hitter. Struggle to command a little bit here in the bottom half of the third.
Take away a sacrifice opportunity for Stars baseball with 1 pitch. Fortunately, he will walk him, so the bases are now loaded. Here comes Tyler Caperton, the shortstop. Caperton, 2023 junior feature gamer from Eastern View High School. Will step in with a chance to blow this game open for Stars baseball here in the 3rd inning. Some words of encouragement there from shortstop and Carter Foskey. Miss inside. Start things off against Caperton. Does get the count there to run to 1-1.
It's a big pitch there early in this game. Obviously, you don't want to fall behind 2-0 to a middle of the order bat here. You're kind of struggling with command, trying to get ahead here.
Another miss from Walls. Just struggling with consistency here. He looked a little bit stronger in the 1st and 2nd inning, but things starting to build here. He's now 50 pitches in the 3rd.
Yeah, it looks a little out of sync here. Not as well connected as we saw him in the first 2 innings.
Let's now make it 3-1. He's a pitch away from adding another run for Stars baseball.
Seen him miss a lot here to the arm side.
That one down the middle, and it goes foul.
Really good job by the catcher there, kind of give him a little bit more of an inside target. When a guy's been missing on one side, sometimes just give him a little something different to look at can kind of change something just a little bit and get you back in the zone.
As a catcher, when you had a pitcher who was not really feeling it, did you try to simplify things? What was the approach to try to make things to help a guy find his way back?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously depends on the guy and kind of where, if they've lost the strike zone, really just depends on where they're missing pitches. Obviously, with a right-hander that's missing more glove side, you would give him more of an arm side target and vice versa. if we start missing low and we start spiking fastballs, that's when things get a little interesting behind the plate. You don't really want to be, throwing your body at a lot of fastballs in the dirt. So give them a little bit higher of a target. Sometimes all it takes is just going out there and make them laugh a little bit, get their mind off of it. So I was usually, you just come up with a joke behind the plate or something, make them look at somebody in the stands, just kind of change what they're thinking about a little bit.
Now, part therapist, part receiver. That's the job of a catcher. As we see, Caperton goes down on strikes, and now here's Jack Arft, and he's got a 1-1 count. Bases are still loaded. But the sacrifice opportunity has been taken away, so Walls with the chance to get out of this and keep it a 1-0 game. Misses high, makes it 2-1. It's Arft, then James Bacher. And Ryan Mendraza, who put the ball in play to score the first run for Stars baseball. Arft now has a 2-1 count. Just misses inside and runs to 3-1.
Walls just seems to be behind at almost every count right now. He was able to fight back and get the strikeout to get the second out of the inning, but it seems every time you look up, it's 3-1, 2-1.
3-1 goes back foul. He's got himself another full count, a chance to get out of this. Saw this happen in the last batter, too. He was one pitch away from walking in a run. Had himself in the same spot here in this matchup with Arft, and now he's got a full count. Excuse me, 2-2. Everyone must have been confused as we see the umpire give the count over to the dugout. Gets hit by a pitch.
Oh, we're gonna go foul ball there.
Okay, we're gonna go foul ball.
It's tough to hear and see with no audio on our side.
All right, so it remains 2-2. And the 59th pitch for Walls. That one goes foul. Finding himself in a battle here with Jack Arft. Arft from Highland School, Virginia, 6'1", 177-pounder. Cleanup hitter with a chance to clean up Four Stars baseball and extend this 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, Shane Walls looking to fight his way back in another AB and get out of this with a 1-0 deficit. Roller to short, gathers, throws in time. Nice job there by Shane Walls, inducing the ground ball to get out of the inning. Stars baseball continues to cling to a 1-0 lead. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
It remains 1-0 in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series here from the Audi Marietta Championship Field at the LakePoint Sports Baseball Village. Cory McCartney now joined by our own Grayson Rosen, Maxwell Monahan back out on the mound for Stars Baseball Marucci National. You were over there getting a little bit up-close view of things, kind of your assessment of these two pitchers as we've seen them. We've seen Monahan be a little bit more dominant, and we've seen Shane Walls being able to work himself out of jams.
Yeah, I think both pitchers are doing a really good job of kind of what their task is right now on the mound. It seems like for Stars, they're really going up there knowing that they can beat 706 at the plate with the pitching matchup. Monahan's doing a great job. He's already struck out 3, and it just seems like they're pitching to contact. They're letting things happen. And then on the other side, Stars with Shane Walls, he's done a great job just pitching around people, pitching to the matchup. And then when he has incurred base runners, done a pretty good job of not letting things get too out of hand. He let up the 1 run on the sac fly, which is just a little bit unfortunate, but he's done a great job as well.
Lane Rhodes is at the plate for 706 Baseball, and he will be followed by Gunnar Broswell and Bankson Terrell. 40 pitches in for Monahan.
And it did seem like Stars was keeping him on a pitch count. It was something I might have heard while I was down there. I heard something about 20 more for him when he came off the field after the 3rd. So might be looking at a pitch count for Monahan.
Yeah, great intel there, and will obviously be something to watch as he's looked awfully dominant so far with that fastball curveball mix.
I think maybe Stars is thinking about Monday right now.
3-1 gets that in to run the count full. Starting to get a little bit warmer as we see Monahan wiping his hands on his pants. Probably not something they're used to dealing with, especially in Virginia in this time of year. Going to be a leadoff walk because he just misses low to Rhodes, and that will bring up Gunnar Broswell with one on and nobody out.
I will say for both pitchers, they have a difficult job. You don't see it all that often at this age, but a lot of lefties and righties mixed throughout these lineups, making the matchups a little bit tougher every inning.
Rhodes taking off. Throw is just going to go to the side of the bag into the outfield, and Lane Rhodes finds himself standing at second base.
This is kind of a moment that we want to see what Monahan has to offer. Now you got a runner in scoring position, no outs, lefty-lefty matchup. Just kind of go to work here and try and limit contact if possible.
Glances back at the runner, shows bunt, gets that down. Monahan feels it himself, spins, throws to first, pulls him up, but able to get the out.
First baseman came off the bag for a second and luckily got his foot back over, but that's a textbook sack bunt right there. Moves your runner onto third base with only 1 out. Now that's a fantastic job right there by 706.
I like the spin move from Monahan as well.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I guess for a lefty, going off that side of the mound is a little bit unnatural.
Yep. Speak for all lefties and Monahan when I concur. Do we have a question there from the 706 side about whether the first baseman was on the bag?
I think it was pretty clear that he got back to it before he reached first. Yep, we get the call there from the umpires.
So there will be 1 down.
As I was walking back from the field, we actually had a similar situation on field 9 where he was called safe. So it's definitely happening all over the place.
Banks and Terrell now at the plate. Terrell 1 for 1. 1 of 3 hits for 706 Baseball. Terrell, one of the number of Prince Avenue Christian players on this 706 squad.
Yeah, and him and the two following batters that ensue are all Prince Avenue Christian players.
Monahan misses high.
Pretty much all North Oconee and Prince Avenue Christian on this 706 lineup.
And as Hudson Graham said when he came on, those are 2 established powers in the state of Georgia, and this kind of gives you a glimpse of the potential futures of these 2 programs.
Definitely, you had one of the best players in Georgia last year, Conrad Kaysen, coming out of Prince Avenue Christian. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year. So definitely a lineage to follow at Prince Ave, and then North Oconee, obviously a powerhouse as well.
And multiple state championships over these past few years. That miss going to make it 2-1. Terrell will be followed by Cole Johnson, and then Carter Foskey goes that far. It's now 3-1. First time we've really seen any stress pitches from Monahan. He's been largely in control, and as you mentioned, potential pitch count for him is this next pitch will be the 49th, so we'll see how much further he is able to go for Stars baseball.
I think they're trying to stop him at 50 is kind of how it lines up with what I had heard.
Swing and a miss makes it 3-2. See, this could be potentially his last batter, as this next pitch will be his 50th, or maybe they see what happens and if he's able to get out of this inning. But nonetheless, he technically is at 50 pitches, so we'll see what happens here as this facing off against Terrell. Counts full. Goes curveball, swing and a miss, gets him for the strikeouts, and now 2 down. Really like that curveball from Monahan, a really effective weapon for him. Is he talking into his glove a little bit because he's upset? He knows he's got to, as you said, there had an established pitch count, so we're going to see him exit the game, but really liked what we saw out of Maxwell Monahan. I think at this age, when you're able to throw 2 pitches effectively for strikes, you kind of think about what's that look like if he can add a changeup, maybe another secondary like a slider. What that could potentially turn into. But I think a really intriguing arm nonetheless for the Potomac Falls 2028.
Yeah, it's hard to find a young left-handed pitcher that can pound the zone like he did already in this game, and like you said, show off a pretty good 2-pitch mix. His sequences were really strong. I think Monahan, like you said, if he can add a 3rd pitch, is going to be a great pitcher for multiple years.
Well, certainly a name to watch, and I am almost certain we'll see Maxwell Monahan once again on these fields here at LakePoint Sports. So Stars baseball now turns things over to Colt Monticello. Monticello, 2028 from Bishop O'Connell High School in Virginia. He's got a fastball around 80, so it doesn't get any better for 706 baseball.
And now you go from a lefty who was kind of hitting a similar speed, but a much different movement on the mound, to switching over to a righty with maybe a little bit more standard motion there on the mound. But I think we're about to see his second pitch in the mix.
That's a pretty vicious curveball as well.
Yeah.
Looked like a lot of glove side run on the fastball, so we'll see if maybe that was a tendency, or maybe the arm slot was just a little bit off. But there he is down the middle. So Monticello, 6'1", 180-pounder, steps in for Monahan. Maxwell Monahan, 3 2/3, allowed 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts, and he hands a 1-0 lead over to Monticello here in the 4th inning with 2 outs. That situation, I understand an established pitch count, but would you rather a guy get a chance to get out of the inning or bring somebody in with 2 outs and allow them to have a fresh start the next time around?
The spot that you benefit from is that we are late into this game already. Like, it's the top of the 4th. You've already gotten through 3.2 innings, so you don't have too much work left to do. And if you have a starter like what we saw out of Monahan, that if you have intentions of making it to those elimination games on Monday, then saving a pitcher makes sense, because we've talked about numerous times when these tournaments go Friday to Monday, it's really hard to have pitching come Monday because it's such a quick turnaround. And it seems like Stars baseball has bigger aspirations than just winning their pool.
It's a completely different monster than what we have during the summertime when you have an event that goes from
like 6 days.
It goes Thursday to Wednesday. When you can pitch a guy day 1 and get him to stay around and still have him for a championship run. I mean, you're literally asking a guy to get 2 days rest and come back out there. So obviously prep baseball a little bit different than, say, Little League or another governing body where, if a guy pitches this and you got to give him X amount of days off, where, you're really asking coaches to use common sense in the way that they use pitchers. And we're seeing that with Maxwell Monahan, who exited after a really strong 3 2/3, and getting hands over a 1-0 lead to Colt Monticello, who has a 3-0 count, a 3-1 count, excuse me, here to Cole Johnson.
Yeah, and he's been putting in competitive pitches, just kind of missing right around the zone. Right there, he makes it, but been a lot of pitches kind of similar to that, where it's just really close and just wasn't quite going his way yet, but now he's got a 3-1 count to work with.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if he goes the fastball here, because I think sometimes when a guy can get awry with that, as he goes to the fastball and dribbles that one to the second, throws over to first to get out of the inning. We'll have plenty more time to talk about Monticello as this game continues. 1-0 is the lead for Stars baseball. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back from the Interclass Fall World Series.
Just burgers? It's just boring. Get your sausage on and keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect, I'm the man in command, come flow with the sounds of the mighty.
We here at LakePoint Sports have teamed up with Johnsonville in the push to keep the internet juicy and bring the positive back to the internet. So if you know of positive actions, good sportsmanship, and selfless acts associated with youth sports, we would love to see them. Anyone is encouraged to share these moments. So whether you're the one who spotted the activity, the one performing the act, or the recipient of the good deed, there's something in it for everyone. And Johnsonville might just reward you for your behavior and or participation. So use that QR code on screen. For more information on how you can make a submission, or head on over to LakePointSports.com or any of our social channels to access the submission form. To give you an example of what we're looking for, here's East Cobb Astros Connor Adams and TGD backs Tristan Blaylock in a moment that underscores that you should always respect your opponent. Continues to be a 1-0 lead for Stars baseball in this Underclass Fall World Series game of the day. Cory McCartney along with Grayson Rosen, thinking we may have a pitching change for 706.
Looks like it.
Yep, the 6'5" Shane Walls has exited, and now we're going to see. Don't believe I have it over 34 on our roster, so we'll see.
I don't have one either.
All right, so we'll see how things adjust for the scoreboard operator. We'll defer to them as we figure out who's pitching for Stars 706 baseball. I did not have a 34 in the submitted roster, so we'll see. This is actually going to be Seagraves. So Burke Seagraves, we had him at number 10, but he's wearing number 34 today. So this is, again, Burke Seagraves takes over for Shane Walls. Shane Walls looked awfully impressive. He was able to get out of some jams in that last inning. Twice he had 3-1 counts with the bases loaded, and both times was able to work out of it, getting a strikeout and a ground out. But Walls, 2 hits over 3 innings, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. And he gives way to Seagraves. Burke Seagraves, North Oconee, 24th prep baseball event. As Avery Hunt and I joked, I think we're going to get him a login here. He might as well start getting some hours worked for 24 events. He's probably spent more hours here across that 24 events than some people who actually are employed by LakePoint Sports. So
He probably has. That's an impressive total for sure.
They have another player with 23. So you think about, and obviously there's probably some overlap there with them being in the same program, but that is a ton of time spent here, especially for people coming all the way over from North Oconee. As Avery Hunt mentioned, as with misses on the curveball, that one nearly goes to the backstop. Not a short drive to get over here from that area.
Seems like as of right now, just not quite finding his release point just yet. Probably a product of not getting much time to warm up, if any at all. So we'll see if Seagraves can bring this back.
Stays facing off against James Bacher, the catcher, as he swings through that one for the strikeout. Nice job rebounding from Seagraves after the rough start. Now we're going to see Ryan Madraza and Cole Schumacher will follow. Madraza put the ball into play in a sac fly that resulted in the first run of the game. In the second inning for Stars baseball, they continue to cling to that lead here in the bottom of the fourth. 2 hits for them, 3 for 706 baseball. I think Mr. Seagraves finding his rhythm now as he swings through that for strike 1. The high glove setup throws. Oh, that was pretty gross. Yeah, another fantastic curveball. I got to say, we've seen some really great curveballs from these 2028s in this game so far.
Yeah, it's a pitch that's not easy to get a good grasp of. You know, some kids can, you can throw it, you can spin it sometimes, but to use it in the situations that we've seen already in this game and how controlled it already is really impressive.
It's now 1-1, or 1-2, excuse me. Sends that one back foul. He's already got himself 1 strikeout. Seagraves delivers. Sends that one foul.
And that was just yet another well-placed curveball. Obviously, it gets the bat on it, but that's the right spot where you want to put it. It was kind of starting out on that far side of the plate and then fell back in towards the feet of the batter.
Well, he's got Mendraza looking for that pitch now. See where he goes in the 1-2. Goes fastball, sends that back foul.
Yeah, and you could tell Mendraza was probably looking for the curveball there. He was a little bit behind and then just kind of tipped it back.
Mendraza, the St. Paul, the 6th Catholic 2028's got a 1-2 count. Seagraves goes back to the curveball. That time works out in his favor. Another strikeout, make it 2 for Seagraves here in the 4th.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
So we go from Mendraza to Cole Schumacher in what has been a extremely well-pitched game from both sides, both from the starters and now the relievers we've seen from both sides. There's Schumacher off with ball 1. Schumacher from West Springfield High School. 5'7", 140-pounder, bats left, throws right.
Interested to see how Seagraves handles the lefty-lefty matchup because, sometimes people would consider that, a lefty pitcher always has the advantage over a lefty hitter, at least, when you're talking professional level. But sometimes it just, you kind of psych yourself out on the mound, some of these younger guys, when you're facing that lefty-lefty matchup, just because you have that thought in the back of your head that you're supposed to have this advantage. And then, of course, your release point is a huge deal because now, obviously, there's somebody in that batter's box that you're very close to hitting on almost every pitch.
Yeah, and that's you just hit on it because as a former lefty pitcher myself, you always feel like you're going to hit the batter.
Yep.
And even throwing BP to my son's teams coaching, whenever I would have a lefty, I always was afraid I was going to hit the lefty. And they would always inevitably, those first few pitches end up jumping out because it's like you just don't feel like you have the same run as we see him issue a walk there to Johnson. You just don't have the same confidence when you're facing a righty where you kind of feel like everything is, your arm movement is headed that direction anyway. Everything against a left-hander, it's like you're so worried about it going anywhere arm side, and you're going to end up plunking the guy. So
yeah, especially when you start mixing in an off-speed as well, like we've seen Seagraves do. It really throws things off when you're throwing that breaking ball, and you know that you kind of let it start out wide and then fall back in. You're afraid that maybe it doesn't come back quick enough, or you miss your release point, and all of a sudden you give up a free pass.
Yep. Elmore now at the plate.
Seems like Seagraves trying to be pretty aware of where Shoemaker is on the base paths.
Trying to keep this a 1-0 game. Joshua Elmore from James Madison at the plate. 6 foot, 191-pounder. Swings through that for a strike. A lot of confidence in that secondary stuff, obviously, for Seagraves. That one goes back foul, going to make it 1-2.
I think right here against Elmore especially, kind of crowds the plate. You see his elbows are already kind of leaking over home plate. If you put a fastball up and in, it's either going to get a call or a swing that won't make much.
Loops that one into right field, nearly had a collision. Second baseman cuts over in front of the right fielder and makes the out. Still 1-0. Another strongly pitched inning in this matchup in the Underclass Fall World Series. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Where's it written? Only grill burgers? Nowhere. That's where. Now throw on some sausage. And keep it juicy.
Boogie woogie jam slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty mic.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you in a 1-0 ball game. Stars Baseball Marucci National continues to lead 7-0-6 baseball in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Stars Baseball going to continue with Cole Monticello on the mound in relief of Maxwell Monahan.
Interested to see if somebody can break something open here now coming into the last couple of innings. The fifth inning, a big spot in these games as we've kind of looked back at the different broadcasts we've done. The fifth inning's typically the one that starts, in these, especially these pitchers' duels, this is where something starts happening. I think fortunately for Stars and 706, they both brought in pitchers in the last inning that have already kind of settled in and gotten the chance to get a feel for how their stuff looks today. So maybe we'll see a little bit of a later explosion in the offense, or we could even see Stars just bulk up here and hold it down for the 1-0 win.
Combined 5 hits between them. The only run was scored off of a drop at home plate off of a relay throw that was in plenty of time. So we were very nearly close to this thing still being scoreless here in the fifth inning, but a extremely well-played game so far from both of these teams in pool play. Again, this Underclass Fall World Series will stretch into Monday when we'll have the championship game. You'll be able to find that for free as well on X, Facebook, and YouTube, so make sure you join us then. Monticello gets that in for a strike. Now facing off against Carter Foskey, and he will be followed by the new pitcher for 706, Burke Seagraves, and then C.J. Pierce. 1-1 is the count to Foskey. Just misses that both pitcher and catcher wanted that one pretty badly.
That was a close one for sure.
Foskey at the plate. Prince Avenue Christian skies that one. Second baseman gathers and makes the catch for the first out. So Foskey pops out, and that will give way to Burke Seagraves.
I think something that Stars has done really well that might go underappreciated is there haven't really been a lot of defensive miscues. It seems like the team is communicating really well around the field and making sure that plays just are made. And something that I think with 706, a couple of like small slip-ups. Like we had the hit that went out to right field where if he would have just thrown to his cutoff, they already weren't going to run home on the with the runner from second. So he had already stopped at third, and then your left or your right fielder throws all the way home. Runner at first advances to second, and then kind of sets things up. And I think that was the play right before we got that sac fly. So small things like that are kind of creating this moment, but otherwise it's been a pretty clean game from both teams.
Seagraves at the plate, responsible for one of the 3 hits for 706 baseball. Looking to try to get something going here in the fifth. We are rolling along, so time not a factor. There's still 45 minutes on the clock in a game in which we are in the fifth inning because pitching has largely dominated this matchup thus far.
Yeah, it seems like maybe the pitching staffs for these teams wanted to catch some college football. We got 20 minutes till those games kick off.
I'm not sure who the Hokies or Cavaliers are playing for the Virginia fans, but we know 706 baseball. Most of those kids probably repping the Georgia G. We
If
see
I had to
walk.
guess, we do have a number of Clark County. I can't even think of the word.
Residents.
Residents, that is the word. A couple of Clark County residents. So I would assume a lot of Bulldogs on that 706 side.
So
Could be some James Madison fans for Stars.
Maybe. Well, a couple of them with James Madison High School, so I don't know if how that correlates. So Seagraves with a 1-out walk. Monticello drops that in. So we go from Seagraves to C.J. Pierce. Pierce from North Oconee, 2028 catcher.
Good work by Pierce to hold off on that first pitch. You could tell he kind of wanted to bite and then remembered, oh, yeah, this guy's been throwing a great curveball as well.
Sends that back foul, going to run it to 1-1. Pierce will be followed by Evan Beaver. Monticello with the throw over. So we've seen Stars baseball, Marucci National go from a lefty starter to Monahan to a righty in Monticello. We've seen the flip side of that for 706, who now go from the righty Walls to the lefty Seagraves.
Quick infielder meeting. Not sure if maybe they're just trying to calm down their pitcher or they have some thoughts in mind on what might happen now with a runner on.
Base runners have been few and far between for both sides in this, but 706, they've just drawn 2 walks so far, both of them coming from Lane Rhodes. So you couple that with 3 hits, they've had 5 base runners. Missed glove side, it gets away from the catcher, but the runner is going to easily make his way to second.
Seemed like he had a bit of a late jump and probably wasn't really running his hardest to get to second base. Didn't look like it was very
seem like a lot of
competitive.
urgency from the catch position either to make you think a runner was taken off, but nonetheless, we've got courtesy runner for Seagraves, the pitcher, standing at second base.
That one gets away as well and advance the runner to third on the walk.
Lance Boyer is who has stepped in as the courtesy runner for the pitcher Seagraves, now standing at third. As you mentioned, a walk to Pierce.
Got a mound meeting from our coach for Stars baseball. We'll see what the thoughts are up here.
So 1-out walk to Pierce gives us runners at the corners, and we'll now see Evan Beaver, the second baseman. Beaver struck out in his first at bat. His second at bat, excuse me. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Boyer standing at first base, an opportunity here with 1 out for 706 baseball to draw even.
Probably one of their best chances here on the offensive side to get things going. So see what they can do. You come to the last 2 in your lineup and just hope for some results.
Yeah, a big AB for Evan Beaver with 1 out. So certainly the sacrifice play in play for 706 baseball if they can just put something into the outfield and draw Boyer in from third and pull even.
Yeah, and I think you should also be thinking about trying to snag second base and eliminate that double play. There it is.
To do exactly that. So that plays into 706's favor here as they get a chance to get themselves right back into this game. Their pitching has done enough to keep it close. Let's see if they can come back. They've gotten out of a couple jams themselves, specifically with Walls and the bases loaded twice. He had 2 3-1 counts, was able to get out of them, 1 strikeout, 1 ground out to keep this a 1-0 game.
And you've got infield in for Stars, so I think for for Evan Beaver at the plate. Just try and put something in play as hard as you can.
He does that. That's going to be on its way into right field. Shallow depth. Comes a throw home. It's going to hold Boyer at third.
Great throw. Good work by the first baseman. Just kind of get out of his way. Let that throw come in and put some speed on it, too.
Yeah, Kean Kaboli in right field. Primarily a catcher, but he is showing the arm strength there in right field to get that one in, the 2023 junior feature gamer. Keeps the runner at third, so we've got 2 down. Takes away a big opportunity for Stars baseball, but making their own, unfortunately, on the run. Running catch in center field, strands 2, 7:06 baseball. This is a big opportunity. Stars baseball, Marucci National continues to lead 1-0. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports, where we have a 1-0 lead, continuing to have a 1-0 lead for Stars baseball. Marucci National over 7-6 baseball. A couple opportunities there for 7:06 baseball to cash in the top of the 5th inning, Grayson. And those are the kind of moments that a team can look back on and say, man, we had our chance to get right back into this game, and we were unable to capitalize. And unfortunately for 7:06 baseball, I think we're going to look at the top of the 5th and find a couple big moments they're going to want back.
Yeah, I think, it was kind of unfortunate for Evan Beaver that he just didn't quite get that fly ball far enough out into right field. I think, you hit that 10, 15, 20 feet further, and you probably do have a chance of tagging up from third and scoring that run, but we had a great throw in to home from Kean Kaboli. So it was a really tough spot. Obviously, you wish that you could have had a chance. It looked like our shortstop wasn't really paying attention on the throwdown, but it seemed like they had a chance, and then you get another one, a well-hit ball into center field, and Stars just tracks it down super easily. So I think the big thing is that, 7:06 missed out on some opportunities, but Stars really stepped up to the occasion on the defense and just stopped at him again.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about a throw-in from right field being a key moment in a game, but that one's right back to Seagraves as he's going to be on the run, flip that over to first base. How often just a throw-in from right field can be a defining moment in a game, but it really felt like Kean Kaboli throwing that in and keeping the runner Boyer at third base and not allowing him to tag up and make a trek for home. I mean, that was a really big moment for Stars baseball, and it could end up looming large when we look back on this one.
Definitely, and we'll see what Burke Seagraves has to do here. Doing great work up to this point in his appearance, but see if he can kind of stay comfortable pitching from behind, because you would have liked to have entered this inning for Seagrave, especially if, with a tie game or a lead, but going to keep pitching from behind, see if he can keep rolling.
Well, he got the aforementioned Kaboli to ground out on the comebacker, and now he's got Luke Torres, and then we're back to the top of the order with Josh Gunning for Stars baseball. Stars baseball still just 2 hits, 3 for 7:06. An incredibly even match game. Again, we just have had one drop at home plate, stopping us from being scoreless here in the 5th. It's now 1-2 here to Torres. Torres 1 for 1. Puts that one down the right side. That's going to be into the right fielder's glove on the ground for a base hit. So make it 2 hits for Luke Torres, the number 10 hitter, and we are now back to the top of the order. Leadoff man Josh Gunning for Stars Baseball.
That was great work right there by Luke Torres to just sit back and wait on something to get to him. He had seen the breaking ball twice, so he probably knew he wasn't going to see it, but you got to keep it in the back of your mind because Seagraves has just looked so good pulling the string on it, but sits on a fastball, sits the opposite field, and got himself on base and might have set something up here.
Yeah, Josh Gunning rips that one into left field, but going to be caught 86.7 off the bat as Torres makes his way back to first base. Probably the most well-struck ball that we've seen all day, but right into the glove of the left fielder Braxton Terrell.
Yeah, the ball's not exactly jumping off the bat today, but certainly seen a lot of good moments though so far.
Bobby Arnold now at the plate 0 for 1 with a walk. A lefty-lefty matchup when we watch Seagraves pump that in for a strike. Torres has shown some aggressiveness in the base pass, almost like a second leadoff hitter for Stars Baseball. We'll see if he shows any activity. Could be a crucial second run for Stars Baseball, trying to pad this 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Torres does take off as that one goes back foul.
It's always the worst feeling as a base
Yeah.
runner. You make it all the way to second,
Yep.
and it's a foul ball,
Yep.
and then you just trot back knowing that, okay, well, now they know I wanted to steal.
Especially if you get a really good jump.
Yeah. Like when you're at second base before the ball hits the net, it's the worst feeling.
It's an 0-2 count to Arnold, goes curveball but misses all the way into the right-handed batter box. Seagrave eyes the runner, throws, he's taken off. Torres going to be in for the stolen base as the catch comes a little bit near the grass. So Torres now in scoring position with 1 on and 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th, excuse me. 2-2 was the count to Bobby Arnold. Have Tyler Caperton to follow. Torres going to make a run for third. He's taken off, but that one's ripped down the left side. Nice hit and run. Torres on his way into second base, and Bobby Arnold's got himself.
They got
him at second. Got a little bit aggressive trying to get the extra bag, but did the run score in time? Believe he did.
Yes.
So make it 2-0 Stars Baseball. Bobby Arnold gets caught at second base, looking to extend that to an extra base hit, but he did provide the RBI. Stars Baseball pads their lead. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Stars Baseball has made it a 2-0 lead here in the 6th inning in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series, as we saw Bobby Arnold come through with an RBI. Fantastic hit and run from Luke Torres there to allow that to set in motion, as you mentioned during our commercial break. Pull the third baseman. Was able to then see Arnold lace that ball over top of where the third baseman should have been. They're able to score a run. He tried to extend it to extra bases, but got caught at second. But nonetheless, we saw the safe call from the home plate umpire. He did. Torres across the plate in time, so he makes it 2-0 here in the 6th.
Umpire still got time called. He's trying to throw his first pitch. Also still waiting on the scoreboard to update, but it is 2-0.
Brady Heath at the plate for 706 will be followed by Lane Rhodes and Gunnar Broswell. Cole Monticello still on the mound for Stars baseball. Heath is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Rhodes in the on-deck circle has drawn 2 walks. Sends that one back foul. Quickly makes it 0-2. There, the scoreboard's now still behind. The scoreboard operator may not have realized that the home plate umpire signaled that he was safe, as we get a opening strikeout for Monticello as Heath goes down. That makes Lane Rhodes' trip to the plate a little bit more pressing here with 1 down in the 6th.
Yeah, and these relief pitchers as well that we've seen for both sides have been really good. I know we just saw Burke Seagraves give up a run, but he looked fantastic all through that. That really wasn't all his fault either with those runs scoring, but Colt Monticello has also looked fantastic for Stars baseball coming in after we saw how good Maxwell Monahan was to start the game.
Lane Rhodes, who already has 2 walks on the day, finds himself in a 2-0 count. That one's down the middle for a strike. Count is still 2-1. Miss low. One pitch away from his 3rd free pass of the day. 31 pitches for Monticello. Rhodes not thinking walk, he's thinking base hit as he sends that one to second base. Unfortunately, going to throw it over to first for the 2nd out.
Good work by Monticello to just throw a competitive pitch in that spot.
So strikeout, ground out, and now here comes Gunnar Broswell with 2 down. Broswell 0 for 2. 3 combined hits for 706 baseball. Puts that one into play. Shortstop on the run. Throws in time. Monticello gets them out of it and continues to lead 2-0. Stars baseball national, Murchie National, excuse me, in charge. We'll be back with the Underclass Fall World Series.
Grilling is an art. Don't forget to add sausage, Picasso. Keep it juicy.
Jump to the jam, boogie woogie jam, slam, bust the dialect. I'm the man in command. Come, flow with the sounds of the mighty.
Nothing is the Stars baseball Marucci National lead here in our Underclass Fall World Series game of the day. Cory McCartney, Grayson Rosen with you. Burke Seagraves still back on the mound for 706 baseball. This could be the last time we see Stars baseball Marucci National at the plate. They'll get a chance to shore things up in the 7th and potentially close out a big pool play win.
Interested to see if 706 can slow them down. Obviously, Stars a little bit of momentum coming off the run scored in the top of the 5th, but see what can, or sorry, the bottom of the 5th, but we'll see what they can do here defensively, see if they can just kind of get out of this and get up to the plate as soon as possible.
Tyler Capperton, Jack Arft, and James Bacher will be at the plate for Stars baseball Marucci National. Sends that one foul.
And Capperton, a switch hitter, saw him hit left-handed in his first 2 at-bats.
Caperton, a couple strikeouts, so he's still hunting for his first hit today.
Well, maybe he's a better hitter on the right side.
You know, talking to Mikhail Moon from Service Baseball earlier today, Mikhail, with the latest 2027 rankings, is a top 10 outfielder in Georgia. He's 62nd overall at the position nationally. Was a natural right-handed hitter, but he hits left-handed, and oddly, he said he has more power from the left side. So a kid who throws right and was at first a right-handed hitter has found himself to have a higher power profile from the left-hand side, so you never know.
Does he always hit from the left, or is he a switch?
He is a switch, but
Okay.
he did tell me that during the spring, he made a diving play here during the Georgia Dugout Club tournament and injured his shoulder, so he is pretty much hitting almost exclusive left-handed now.
Interesting.
Which plays to his favor, considering he has a better power profile from the left side.
Definitely. There's a number of players in the MLB that are hitting lefty and throwing righty. Freddie Freeman, a popular one that most wouldn't even think about because he's a first baseman. You just assume he's left-handed all the way, but he's a righty in the field. And I think, personally, a first baseman being right-handed is a huge asset.
Well, I will die on any hill to support left-handers, so I won't get into it with you there. But 2-2 is the count to Caperton. Jack Arft to follow. Comes the 2-2 from Seagraves. Oh, gets the punch out, but the drop third. The throw is going to be close, but it's going to be in time for the out. Just swung through, excuse me, that nasty curveball from Seagraves. Got me tied up just like he had Caperton tied up, and there'll be one down.
Yeah, that was a great pitch, and I'm not surprised that the catcher had some difficulty catching it. Had some wicked movement there on the back end of that curveball, and it obviously got away from him, but they get the out and the strikeout nonetheless.
You like your pitcher and catcher to be on the same page, but I have always told young pitchers, if it's tough for the catcher to catch, it's going to be really tough for the pitcher to hit.
Yeah. Yep.
Jack Arft, though, starts off with a 1-0 count with one down here in the bottom of the sixth. 7:06 baseball can ill afford to allow Stars baseball to get any more base runners as they're trailing 2-0. Potentially just one more chance at the plate to try to even this thing up as we head into the seventh.
And Arft was our first scorer in this game for Stars baseball, so probably looking to replicate or one-up himself from earlier in the game.
Yeah, Arft and Luke Torres responsible for the 2 runs as Arft skies that. Center fielder's got it, so there'll be 2 down.
Yeah, got a little cutoff on that one on the inside pitch and just hit that one off the hands. Pretty strong, well-hit ball, despite it kind of coming up inside on him, but he flies out.
So Arft in his 6'1", 177-pound frame got behind that, but unable to make a productive stroke. And here comes James Bacher from Madison High with 2 down. Another great curveball from Seagraves, pumps that in for a strike. You know the guy's feeling it when he goes first pitch curveball.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of velocity change on the curveball as well. At some points, we've seen it all the way up to like 68, 67. Now we're seeing it around 62, 63. So that's also going to be a huge variable when you're facing it. If, maybe the first time you saw him now because he's through a couple of innings of work, if the first time you saw him he was throwing it 68 and then he's coming back with it at 62, it's a big feel difference because that drop is just going to change, timing and everything.
Well, he's thrown 3 straight. That one went glove side, kind of got away from him. So let's see what he does here on the 2-1 count to Bacher. That's in for a strike.
That one almost a little more change-up movement.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a change-up in a curveball with very similar readouts on the radar. So not seeing him go to the fastball very much. He goes back to the curveball again, so he's going to run the count full. I feel like at this point, just kind of keep it simple. See if you can put something in play. Your defense has worked for you. Again, you can't really afford another base runner for Stars Baseball and Marucci National as you're trying to keep this thing manageable in your last AB. And he goes with the fastball, and he's able to get the inning-ending strikeout. Nice job by Seagraves there to keep Stars Baseball and Marucci National at bay. And we will head to the 7th inning, down to the last hope for 7:06 baseball. We'll be back from LakePoint Sports.
Next. Next. Stop.
You got it?
No. Keep going.
Again.
Next. Next.
If you don't pick one.
Oh, you have time. Am I keeping you from your job? Next. I don't even know where I am anymore. Stop.
Do we finally have it?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Are you
Your
joking?
electric future customized. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
Making every second count. That is how I live. And this is how I hydrate. Body Armor Sport Water. Water for the athlete in all of us.
This is ready to go online. Any questions?
Yeah, I got one. How about the best network imaginable? Let's invent that.
That's what we do here.
Quick survey. Who wants their internet to work pretty much everywhere?
And it needs to run smooth, like super smooth.
Hey, should you be drinking that?
It's decaf.
Because we're busy women.
We don't have time for lag or buffering. Who doesn't want internet that helps AI do your homework even faster?
Come again?
Sorry, what was that?
Introducing the next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity. The future starts now.
Down to the last chance here for 706 baseball to work their way back into this pool play game here in the Underclass Fall World Series. Cory McCartney along with Grayson Rosen can have a pitching change for Stars baseball. So we go from Monticello to now Tyler Caperton. Actually, I believe this is the second number 33 because they had two number 33s on their roster. Tyler Caperton was not the one with the high socks. That was indeed Braden Cronin. So now have Cronin on the mound to try to finish things off. Cronin from Centerville High School in Virginia, 5'10", 145-pounder. Got a fastball up to 80, also has a changeup, 65, 66, and a curveball that drops down to 62. So you're looking at a near 20-mile-an-hour difference off the low end of the curveball to the upper end of the fastball.
Already thrown two straight fastballs here, so see what he does here. 1-1 count.
He's facing Banks and Terrell, who will be followed by Cole Johnson and Carter Foskey for 706. 706, 3 hits on the day. Stars baseball with 4. They've got a 2-0 lead here, trying to finish off this pool play victory. Misses on the curveball. That was down to 59.4. Would have loved to have seen.
I think maybe just because of the misrelease, it
Yeah,
got all the
maybe.
way down to 59, but we'll see if he can.
That'd be pretty
hit the zone
impressive if you
here.
could go from
Yeah.
80 to the 50s, but goes back with a fastball on the outside corner, gets the punch out. Nice job by Cronin there to start things off, work his way back. I think he thought he threw the "is this guy crazy" pitch as it went on the bad miss to getting the punch out. Here.
706 on their last legs now.
Just not having a feel for the curveball today. Is that one read out at 60, but another bad miss.
Yeah, I think, we talk about it all the time. These guys, when they come in, a lot of these guys aren't really anticipating on a relief appearance in a lot of these games, and probably came into this one pretty cold.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them just don't go through their normal game
Yeah.
prep because, I think when you think about the high-level travel teams, most of these guys on their own teams are established starters. They're just not used to being in this position. He's now got 2 strikes on Cole Johnson.
Yeah, I think for some people it's hard to comprehend that, guys don't just spend their entire career as a closer and then close in the MLB.
Yeah.
Just about every guy you've seen. Oh, there's the punch out.
Yeah, 79.6. Yeah, you mentioned it. Every guy has at one point in their time been the best pitcher on their team.
Exactly. And they were probably the ace in high school and college, and soon enough they'll be a closing pitcher in the MLB.
So Braden Cronin with back-to-back strikeouts, and now here he is facing Carter Foskey, with a chance to finish this off. And man, he is pounding the zone, 78.9.
He's feeling himself with the fastball right now.
Yeah,
He's not even really that worried about the rest of his pitches.
Don't even go back to that curveball.
Well, he does.
Oh, he does. He
It
just
almost
misses
worked.
it. That was the best one he's thrown, 62.5. I'm really surprised that Foskey laid off that when he finally got it to break the right way. But he's got a 1-1 count to Foskey. Puts this one in play. Shortstop has it. Throws on the run. In time for the out. And Stars Baseball Marucci National has finished off a 2-0 pool play win over 706 Baseball in our Underclass Fall World Series game of the day. Congratulations to them. And just, man, a really well-pitched game. You think about, I keep going back to that moment with the drop ball at home.
Yep.
That if that doesn't happen, we've got a 1-0 game, and then we'll get into this key moment here shortly. But I think you look at both teams and the way they pitched this game. 7 combined hits, across the two sides. We saw a combined 7 strikeouts pitched by the 706 squad. We've got 7 strikeouts for Stars Baseball Marucci Nationals arms. So extremely well pitched game for both sides. A combined 4, 5, 6, 7 walks amongst them too. So two teams that just really played strong defense and kept largely the other team off the base pass. So a really well played game by both sides.
Yeah, extremely hard showing from everybody on this field. Honestly, just about everybody showed up for the occasion. Obviously, if you're 706, you wish you didn't just get shut out, and you wish you maybe seen a little bit more from the offense. But for Stars Baseball, obviously, you feel good about the fact that even in the hardest situation that you've faced so far, you were able to put up runs and win this game.
Well, a 2-0 win for Stars Baseball Marucci National as these kids come down from Haymarket, Virginia, and get themselves a big victory here in this one. We'll be back shortly as we talk through our player of the game.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Welcome back to LakePoint Sports. Cory, McCartney, Grayson, Rosen with you, where we have a 2-0 win for 706 Stars Baseball, Marucci National, over 706 Baseball in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Big pool play victory for Stars Baseball, Marucci National. And Grayson, let's talk player of the game. Oftentimes we have a guy who seemingly has that defining hit, that defining pitcher on the mound. It's rare that we talk about a guy whose ability to cause havoc on the base pass ends up being a big reason for them getting player of the game. Luke Torres had 2 hits, but it felt like what he was able to do during the 5th inning in providing the second run for Stars Baseball was the biggest factor in this. He gets his second hit, and then we're able to see him come through with a stolen base and then provide a moment off of a hit and run that was really the defining, arguably, play of this game.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you kind of look through that whole 5th inning for him, opposite field hit to keep himself alive, continue a good day at the plate. It barely sneaks through into right field. It gets on first, few pitches into the at bat. He tries to steal second, it gets fouled off. Then he steals second successfully. And then we see just a more perfect hit and run than it even seems like on paper, because if you watch it closely, he attempts to steal third. That pulls the third baseman out of his position, brings him over to third base, and at the same time, you have Bobby Arnold's opposite field hit go right where the third baseman was standing prior to getting pulled to third base. It opens the door. Torres rounds third and scores the big insurance run to make it 2-0 in this game. So, yeah, his just absolute masterclass on the base pass was a big part of this victory for them.
An extremely well-pitched game, as we said, and because of that, runs were at a commodity. So I think when you talk about the ability to find ways to impact the game and change the game, Luke Torres most certainly did that and earned himself player of the game in this 2-0 win for Stars Baseball Marucci National over 706 Baseball in our game of the day from the Underclass Fall World Series. Again, a key pool play victory for Stars Baseball Marucci National. Something tells me we have not seen the last of these guys. They look like they're set up to do some damage as we get into bracket play, and we will have the conclusion of that for you Monday. So make sure you join us Monday afternoon for the championship game in this Underclass Fall World Series. Make sure you check out all the LakePoint Sports social channels, as we'll have tune-in information for you, but you'll be able to find that for free on X, Facebook, and YouTube. So until then, appreciate Hudson Graham and Avery Hunt joining us, and as always, Grayson Rosen, and the work in the back for our producer, Mason Monroe. So until next time, this is Cory McCartney signing off from LakePoint Sports.